and welcome to the Lipman House. Louis Lyons, the man for whom tonight's award is named, joined the Nieman Foundation 76 years ago as a fellow in Harvard's very first class of Niemans. Impressively, he managed to accomplish that about which many fellows have dreamed but never achieved. He stayed here for 25 years. During Lyons' fellowship, Harvard's founding Nieman curator, Archibald MacLeish, was appointed Librarian of Congress. The university named Lyons his successor, and here he remained as curator until 1964. Lyons, who had written for the Boston Globe and the Christian Science Monitor, brought important advancements to the Nieman Foundation. Can you imagine a fellowship class without women, without minorities, without international fellows, or one that was limited to journalists who worked in print? Neither could Lyons, who welcomed all of these changes during his tenure, paving the way for the richness of experience and skill reflected in today's Nieman Foundation. When he completed his run as curator, an award was established in his name, and that is the reason we are together tonight. It was a prize to honor conscience and integrity in journalism, and is a distinction that has been awarded since 1964 to some of the lions of our profession, including Edward R. Murrow, reporters who covered the Vietnam War, and Gunawan Muhammad, an Indonesian journalist of great courage who persevered in the face of tremendous government repression, and with whom I had the great privilege of sharing my year as a Nieman Fellow. Last year's fellows awarded the Lions to Marcela Turati, a Mexican reporter who became the standard bearer for the journalists who have risked their lives to document the devastating wave of violence growing out of the drug wars in Mexico. Before that, in my first year as curator, the fellows honored Mohammed Nabous, who was killed in Libya in 2011 while reporting on the Gaddafi forces' attacks on civilians in Benghazi. His widow, Samra Naz, stood at this podium with her infant daughter, Mia, and accepted on his behalf. But conscience and integrity are not the exclusive domain of those journalists who risk their lives. And so tonight, we add American journalist Pamela Koloff to this pantheon. The Nieman Fellows are honoring Pam, an executive editor at Texas Monthly, for her tenacious investigations into wrongful convictions and what they describe as her ability to blend painstaking reporting about the mistakes and misconduct committed by law enforcement with wrenching personal detail about the shattered lives of those wrongfully convicted. We are honored by your presence, Pam, and enriched by your work, about which we will hear more a little later this evening. And while the Lyons Award was decided entirely by this class of Nieman Fellows, I do want to say on a personal note how moved I was by their decision. Wrongful conviction, prosecutorial misconduct, and the death penalty were subjects that occupied many years of my own work as an editor in Chicago, and I can think of few more urgent domestic stories. In a journalistic era characterized by so much ephemera, this work is lasting and profound, and not only to the individuals whose lives are changed and sometimes redeemed by these stories. I offer special thanks to the 2014 Nieman Fellows for their careful deliberations, and especially to Sandra Rodriguez Nieto and to Ravi Nessman, the fellows who chaired the process by which Pam was selected. The care and the wisdom that you all brought to the task was inspirational to me. And so while we are gathered to honor Pam, I offer up a warm and grateful toast to you, a group of journalists I feel extraordinarily privileged to be among. I also wanted to say a special word of welcome to some of our guests tonight. First, Linda Greenhouse, the Pulitzer Prize-winning legal journalist, professor of law at Yale, and member of the Harvard Board of Overseers. Thank you for joining us and for your genuine interest in the work of Nieman. It's so great to have you here. In addition, a number of members of the Nieman Board of Advisors have joined us at Lippman House, or rejoined us actually tonight, having spent a very long day starting early this morning in board meetings in this very room. Thank you all so much for your tremendous commitment to the foundation, just exemplified by your committed presence here today. And lastly, I want to welcome Pam's mother, Marjorie Koloff. I suspect you have played a not insignificant role in the making of a great journalist, something the world needs more of, and for that we thank you. I invite you now to enjoy dinner and each other's company, and in a little while, Ravi and Sandra will be back up here to introduce tonight's honoree. And again, welcome. I'm just so honored to have you all here.